Hey everybody, JTH.
Mr. Tailsthehero.
And now, as you saw from our intro, we're reading a fanfiction called Incest of the Ages. And before any of you ask, the writer even said himself, no, this is not a rape fic.
Thank God.
So we're just gonna skip it, skip all the crap we say at the beginning and get right to it. Incest of the Ages by Rainbow Scout. Bored. Bored was the only word to describe Rarity at this moment. She lay in her large queen-sized pink bed, miserable.
Queen-sized? What do you need a queen-sized for? That's bigger than me.
Why is she so miserable, you ask? She had recently been diagnosed with the pony pox and was told by Nurse Redheart she could not, under any circumstances, leave the boutique. Rotten Nurse Redheart, Rarity grumbled to herself despondently. She said I was in the late stages of the illness. Why do I have to stay here? She sighed. Rarity stepped out of bed and sat up at her bedroom window. She wished that seeing other ponies having a good time would cheer her up. As she walked across the room, she felt something odd between her haunches. It was a warm, itching feeling. It felt as if she was... Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh no, Rarity said, realizing what this feeling was. Oh no, 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 she shouted. She turned her attention away from her trot to her window and turned for her bed. She began a slow, staggering trot to her bed with an increasingly stinging sensation in between her folds, making it difficult to speed up. She tried to tell herself that it was not what she knew it was, telling herself it was just an itch. However, the widespread singing contradicted this positive thinking. There was no fighting it, no way around it. Rarity was in heat.
Fuck.
What?
Nothing, I'm talking about this.
Why here? Why now? Rarity spoke to herself, climbing onto her bed. This is not the time for this. Rarity was stressed and tense, and for good reason. The heavy stinging was now slowly changing into a slight burning. Rarity felt as if she wanted to collapse and clop ferociously. However, the temptation was weak, until she made a startling realization. She couldn't get any pony to satisfy her. Given that she couldn't leave her home, she couldn't exactly find any pony to help her, and even if she could, what would she say?
Fuck me.
Yeah. Wait, Rarity said. At that moment, she remembered something. Some pony, to be exact. Sweetie Belle.
Huh?
Rarity turned her head in the direction of her sister's bedroom. Maybe I could. Rarity quickly snapped herself out of that thought cycle. No, I'm too sophisticated to resort to... She hesitated for a moment before finishing her sentence. Incest. I'll just find another way. Rarity sat still for several moments, trying to ignore the deep burning sensation and come up with a way to satisfy her needs. She channeled the darkest corners of her mind to think up a new form of sexual pleasure. She came up short. With no options left, she turned her head once again to Sweetie Belle's bedroom.
Oh, give me a break. Don't do that.
Maybe just once, she said guiltily.
No.
3 hours later.
Tree.
It had been 3 hours since Ray decided to engage her sister. She had spent every moment since then preparing for what she had planned. It was now 2:30 p.m. and Sweetie Belle would be home soon. Oh, she must be at school. I guess it's during the week. Rarity sat down on one of her fainting couches and waited. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The clock on the wall broke the silence around Rarity and annoyed her slightly. Rarity was growing impatient, and so were her hormones. The burning inside her had gotten worse over the past 3 hours. Hurry up, Sweetie Belle, Rarity said, agitated. With that, the boutique store swung open to reveal a small white filly with purple/pink hair. Rarity perked up when she saw her. Hey, Rarity, Sweetie Belle said nonchalantly. How was your... Oh, it was great, Rarity interrupted her sister with false enthusiasm. How about yours?
Oh dear.
Sweetie was confused by her sister's excitement. It was fine, she said. We had a pop quiz in math, and I got a B. That's pretty good for a pop quiz. That's right on the spot.
No kidding.
I mean, if I were to give a pop quiz, I thought I would get at least a C or something. I mean,
Best I ever got in a pop quiz was a B.
oh really? That was just the kind of event Rarity was hoping for. Why an event like that? Oh, that's great, Rarity said, her enthusiasm slightly more real this time. That kind of grade deserves an award. Oh no! Oh, this is the start of something. Oh.
This is gonna be muffed up.
Oh, Celestia. Sweetbell's confused and suddenly switched to pure excitement. Well, of course, she has no freaking idea what the heck's about to go on. Really? She asked happily. What kind of reward? Rarity paused for a moment to take in one last time to consider her admittedly sadistic plan. Was it worth it? Well, a sudden instinct convinced her that it was. Rarity cleared her throat.
Oh man.
Why don't you come into my bedroom and find out? Rarity said slightly seductively. Sweetie Belle, being too young to pick up on her sister's hints, began happily trotting up to Rarity's bedroom.
Oh God.
Rarity carried a false nervous smile as she walked behind her small sibling. She was disturbed to know that after today her little sister would no longer have her virginity, let alone she'd be the pony taking it. Yeah, that probably would feel Rarity with a bit of... That probably would disturb Rarity a bit.
You think, for Christ's sakes?
Sweetie Belle arrived at Rarity's bedroom door and quickly pushed it open. When she did, she noticed the room was extremely done up. Scented candles were all over the room, carefully lighting the space around Rarity's bed. Sweetie Belle, of course, was oblivious to the candle's purpose. Sweetie Belle sniffed around. Your room smells great, Rarity, Sweetie said. But where's my reward? Oh, man. Yeah, you're right. Sweetie Belle's too young to pick up on this, but what do you expect? She's a filly. Well, Rarity said nervously, why don't you lie down and I'll show you? Her nervous tone switched to a smoother, more seductive one.
For God's sake.
Don't even think about running away.
I'll try not to, I promise.
Sweetie shrugged before climbing onto Rarity's bed and laying flat on her right side. Rarity gave Sweetie a half-eyed stare and grin before locking the door behind her and walking to the bed.
Oh no.
Alright, Sweetie, she said. Are you ready for your, and in quotes around hers, reward? And close quotation marks after the question mark. Sweetie Belle nodded her head excitedly, painfully unaware what her sister had in store for her. Okay. Alright then, Rarity said sexily. Let's get started.
No.
Rarity laid down next to her sister, fully ready to put her plan into action.
No.
Rarity lifted a hoop above Sweetie Belle's head and lowered it down onto Sweetie's neck. Sweetie Belle seemed confused as to what her sister was doing. Rarity then began sliding her hoop down the length of Sweetie Belle's torso, giving a light rub for every few inches she slid her hoop. After Rarity's hoof hit Sweetie Belle's stomach and kept moving further down, Sweetie realized that her sister wasn't going to stop. Rarity, she panicked. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Rarity knew it would come down to this. You had to bring up that concept.
No. Fuck you. Fuck you. Who wrote this shit?
Rainbow Scout.
Dude, give me a fucking break.
It's okay, sweetie. The Apple family does it all the time, she lied.
Oh, she lied. Okay, good.
Sweetie seemed damn it! Sweetie seemed to slightly exit her panicked state. Really? She asked. Of course, Rarity answered. How else do you think they're so close? Well, at least you know she's lying.
Thank the Lord.
Sweetie thought for a second before cracking an accepting smile. Okay then, Sweetie said. Just promise me this won't hurt. Rarity rolled her eyes. Sweetie, she said sternly, if this makes you feel anything, it won't be pain. Now please hush. At least she still talks like she always does. Like instead of saying be quiet, she says hush. Sweetie Belle complied, hushing quietly and bracing for whatever Rarity had in store. Rarity started gliding her hoof further down Sweetie's stomach until she hit her waist. "Are you ready, Sweetie Belle?" Rarity said, seductively. I can never be sure if I'm saying that right. Because there's a T in there. I don't know if it's...
It's either seductive or seductively.
Yeah. Sweetie nodded her head. Rarity was glad that her sister was so accepting. With that, Rarity dropped her hoof down onto Sweetie Belle's love. Sweetie Belle's upper body was rocketed upwards by the sudden sensation, only to quickly collapse back down.
Don't.
"Oh," Rarity said, "liking this, are we?" Sweetie didn't answer. "Well, how about this?"
I'm done.
Oh, no, you don't.
I'm leaving.
No,
I'm done.
No, get back here. You are going to sit here and listen to me read this.
You know I don't like incest.
At least it's not Big Mac
Okay,
and Applejack. At least it's not Applejack and Big
You
Mac.
ever get me into one of those, I'm gone. I don't care.
I'm not gonna lie, holding you back like that was kind of funny.
Screw you.
Rarity then began to gently rub around her sister's slit, effectively clapping her. With the light swish sound, Rarity's hoof worked its way into Sweetie Belle's tight underdeveloped pussy. Sweetie Belle made a sharp intake of breath before letting out a heavy moan of pleasure. "Rarity," Sweetie gasped. "I love you. Don't stop."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Rarity was glad her sister was enjoying her pleasuring, but she had much left in store, however. For this moment, she simply kept rubbing her sister's slit down, reaching deep inside of it, and feeling the sticky insides of... That's a funny word. Cooch? Whatever the fuck that means.
Wait, where are we?
Sweetie's high-pitched moans of pleasure inspired Rarity
cooch.
to continue.
It's another word for...
Yeah, I'm just saying that's a funny word. However, Rarity felt Sweetie's slit getting wetter, meaning she was nearing an orgasm. Rarity wanted her sister to feel several forms of pleasure, so with one swift movement, she yanked her hoof out from her sister's sobbing tang.
Oh, boy.
Another good way to put it. "How did you like that?" Rarity said. It took Sweetie Belle a moment to catch her breath. "That was awesome," Sweetie said while taking heavy breaths. "Can you do it again?" Rarity gave her sister a confident grin. "I have something better in mind," Rarity said, "if you're willing." Sweetie Belle nodded her head, carrying an interesting mix of desperation and desire on her face. "Wonderful," Rarity said. "Spread your legs." Sweetie Belle quickly complied, spreading her legs excitedly. Rarity didn't waste any time on this one. Without saying a word, she slowly glided her head between her sister's legs and purposely exhaled heavily onto her sister's trim. The mere entrance of warm breath into herself made Sweetie expel breath sharply. Rarity didn't mess around anymore. It was game time. She placed her open mouth over Sweetie Belle's slit. Sweetie Belle had absolutely no idea what Rarity was going to do. However, Rarity quickly made it apparent by sticking her tongue out. Sweetie Belle screeched with pleasure as Rarity's soft tongue inserted into her body. Rarity knew just how to do this, but she wanted to make Sweetie Belle's first time special. She began lapping all over Sweetie Belle's pussy, making sure to hit every inch of her crater. Sweetie tasted wonderful, as her name would imply. Sweetie Belle would make sense, making this a pleasurable experience on both ends.
Kill me! Kill me! Kill me!
Sweetie Belle was constantly moaning with an occasional ooh or ah thrown into the mix. Rarity was proud she was pleasuring Sweetie Belle, and that was just it. The best thing was about to happen was the situation itself. Rarity was here with the pony pox in heat, eating her little sister out. Truth be told, if Sweetie Belle told any pony, she would probably be locked away for a long time. But she didn't care. She only cared about the task at hand, making Sweetie Belle come.
Oh my god, get me out of here.
Well, like I said, I'm forcing you to sit here and listen to this. Rarity felt like it was time to speed things up, so she moved her tongue away from Sweetie's core and moved up to her clitoris. With one touch of her tongue, Sweetie Belle screamed at the top of her lungs. The high-pitched shriek could probably be heard outside, but once again, neither of the two cared. Rarity took the scream as a cue and began licking, lapping, and kissing Sweetie's clit as much as she could. With each swipe or poke, Sweetie grew wetter and wetter. Finally, with one final thrust of Rarity's tongue, Sweetie Belle hit her climax. Her muscles strained, her waist pushed forwards, and a decent amount of orgasmic fluid spilled onto the sheets of Rarity's bed. With one final scream, Sweetie Belle collapsed. Rarity sighed, satisfied. A job well done, she thought. She climbed back to the head of the bed and lay next to Sweetie Belle. When she woke up in a few minutes, it would be her turn. Rarity looked back at Sweetie Belle's slit. She noticed a tiny pool of fluids had spilled out of it. My, Rarity said quietly. We have quite the little bloomer here, don't we?
For fuck's sake.
With those words, Sweetie's eyes fluttered open slowly. She looked at her sister, who was carrying a loving grin. It took Sweetie Belle a few moments, but she remembered what had just happened, and why she was asleep. Rarity? She said groggily. Yes, Sweetie Belle, Rarity replied warmly. Could you do that again? Sweetie asked with a slightly embarrassed tone in her voice. Now, Sweetie Belle, Rarity said slightly more sternly than before. I'm afraid not. Sweetie Belle gave a disappointed look. But, Rarity said, how about you do that to me? Sweetie Belle's eyes shot wide open at that point, containing a mixture of unsureness and happiness. Are you sure I can do that? Sweetie Belle asked fearfully. Sweetie Belle, Rarity said, condoning the little filly, I have faith in you. Just do what feels right. Sweetie Belle's eyes lit up as she was visibly overjoyed by this statement.
Feels right. Walk the fuck out!
You really have faith in me? Sweetie asked excitedly. Of course, Rarity said. Now let's get going. Just then, Rarity turned her lower body in Sweetie's direction and spread her legs. Sweetie gazed down at her sister's fully spread pussy, feeling slightly intimidated. She simply stared at it for about 30 seconds. Come on, Sweetie Belle, Rarity shouted impatiently. Hurry up. Sweetie knew she couldn't let her sister down, so she lowered her head to Rarity's slit and prepared to start licking. She gave a deep breath and stuck her tongue out. After sticking it out about halfway, it touched Rarity's skin, and with a bit more force, she entered her vaginal trail. Rarity shuddered in pleasure as Sweetie Belle's tongue slid deep into her. Do what she did, Sweetie thought. She didn't want to bore Rarity, so she took the cue and went straight for her clitoris. With one poke of her tongue, Rarity's relaxed eyes shot open as she moaned in pleasure. Sweetie Belle was so glad to hear her sister's moans, so she began licking and jabbing Rarity's clitoris with all of her might. What Sweetie was doing felt so good, Rarity felt like she wanted to cry. It felt purely amazing. Rarity was surprised by how rough Sweetie's movements were, but she certainly wasn't complaining. She was holding in her screams of pleasure. She had to limit it to moans. She was a lady, after all.
For fuck's sake, who cares?
Sweetie Belle was glad she was able to pleasure her sister so easily. She wanted to pleasure her more. Using her forehoof, she began rhythmically massaging Rarity's thighs to the beat of the Crusaders Go Crusading, whatever the hell the song that is. Is that the one they sang in the talent show?
I don't think so.
With this, Rarity couldn't take it anymore. She tried to hold it in, but she couldn't. Resistance was futile.
You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
You will be deleted. I've never been really good with screams like this.
Ooh, yes! Yes! Do it, yes! Oh my god, why did I just do that? I hate this fic, but yet I'm trying to make everything funny.
You almost sounded like Paul Bearer.
Oh, yes!
You should have just did that when you said that.
Oh, yes!
Sweetie was surprised that her sister was screaming so loud, but at least they were screams formed from pleasure. Sweetie looked up to see Rarity crying. She had burst into tears moments ago.
Oh, Sweetie Belle, don't stop! I'm almost there!
You make that sound so good and believable. You sound exactly like Paul Bearer.
Oh, yes!
Sweetie once again complied and continued licking and massaging.
Ow.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. With that final scream, Rarity was done. Her muscles strained, her waist lurched upwards, and she spewed so much fluid she practically drowned Sweetie Belle.
Oh, give me a break.
Sweetie pulled her soaked face away from Rarity's slit, looked down, and admired her work. Rarity's sweat-swelled vagina was a sight to be seen. Unlike Sweetie Belle...
You alright?
Yeah, got a piece of hair on my tongue. Unlike Sweetie Belle, Rarity didn't pass out after her orgasm. Sweetie climbed on top of the bed next to her sister. They both looked at each other. "Rarity?" Sweetie asked. "Yes, Sweetie Belle," Rarity replied. "Will we ever be able to do that again?" she asked curiously. Rarity thought for a moment before coming to a conclusion. "Anytime you want, Sweetie Belle," she said, closing in on her little sister's face. "Anytime you want." The two kissed, and it was wonderful. The end. Woo! I didn't know if I'd be able to make it through that. But hey, thanks for chiming in as Paul Bearer.
I hate you.
Yeah, I know.
I fucking hate you.
Well,
I'm quitting. I'm quitting. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, this is JTH,
Tailsthehero.
and we will see you again. Goodbye.